Hello everybody, did this make it better? This is going to be part 15 of what if Deku had the red thread of fate as a quirk. Sorry for the long wait, I was trying to think like the perfect or better way of saying it and nothing came up perfectly. And a week later, I remember I do this way better when I'm actually recording myself. So same old, I'm most of my battery life is very bad and I had to work a lot of times. So I'm still gonna do what ifs. It's just thinking of ideas for this series was actually really hard because no one had done this before. But since it's a minute in, let's get into it. It will be about 30 minutes. My I try to. If it's not, I'm sorry. If it's higher, well, I guess good for you. Last time we left off, Zuko pretty much saved Eri earlier with and they're over at the hospital, taking care of Eri. So I'll skip about a week. So Zuko and Mario have been going to Eri every day after school, and sometimes with some days with Kirishima, Bakugo, and some other days with Uraka and Suyu, for you can get accustomed with all the others that helped, and some of the heroes. The two people that mainly helped her out the whole time. Another week has passed, and they are right now in the hospital room, and Deku is actually talking with Eri and asking her why don't you like smile, and she actually is forcing herself to smile, actually putting her hands on her cheek and moving it up, giving a smile, and she said like this. Now Ariel and Deku realize that she can't really give a general a smile. It really broke their hearts. But Aizawa came in and told them, also there's going to be, I forgot to tell you in class, but there's going to be a festival coming up. And this year will be special. We'll be bringing your parents and friends, but no one else. And they're all everybody in the class 1A, class UA, school UA. Now, Mira already knew this, but Deku got an idea. And he asked, like in canon, asked Aizawa and Mirio and Eri if they want, if we should bring Area to, if and they could bring Eri to the festival. And she was confused, saying, "What's What's a festival?" Some of them say "ah." Well, one person said "ah," but they could explain it. And so the next day, Aizawa actually tells the class they're going to be a festival in the next month. Enough time for them to work on any projects, small details, whatever they're going to do. He leaves the class and tells them to decide on what to do. So they're going to do the same thing, do a concert. After that day, after going and talking with Eri and saying what Mario's going to do and what Zuko's class was going to do, and she got a little excited, but she doesn't know what exactly they meant. So they explained what Mario's class is doing. I forgot what they did, so I'm not gonna explain his. But Echo said their classes and his class is doing a concert, and we're gonna play some songs and do some dances, bring up everybody's spirits. I'd be really happy if you. I'd be really happy if you come, Ari. And she kind of like nods and said, "Okay, I'll go." I can't really do a high pitched voice, so don't blame me for that. in the dorms, everybody's like picking out. Kirishima pretty much. Kirishima was talking about how he can rock a guitar, and Jiro asking anybody else that can do it. Some of them said they can, uh, and one girl, I say, hey, and this is Mina, said, hey Deku, I saw, can you play anything? And Deku said, yeah, I can play an instrument, but I don't think it'd be right for this class, for this event. And so you ask, really? What do you play, Ribbit? I can do that. And Zuko said, oh, hold on, let me get it. And he comes out and he brings out a violin. Suyu asks, so you can play a violin? And Zuko said, no, I can play the viola. A violin's too small, I need something bigger. And they asked him to play something with the instrument. And he said, maybe later, but first we need more people in the group. So Jiro actually came out and asked for any other instruments like the bass, and Tokoyami said he can play the bass perfectly. She gave him a bass and he plays it pretty strong too. Almost same kind of riff that some new songs are coming out. Bakugo comes up and shows them they can play the drums. Extremely strong. Rocket's just enjoying the beat, like rocking side to side with right next to Bakugo. Not too close where she doesn't get hit. Who else? Momo bring out piano. The keyboard, the one that's portable. She brings out. But everybody's saying we need a singer, and they all ask if anybody can sing. Some of them said they can. They sing. Nope. Just their opinion shattered. And then Denki asked Jiro if she can sing. She has a bunch of instruments in her room and saw some recording system and asked if she can sing. And she does. Saying that she is not very good at it, but she'll give it a try. And she does. And then at this point, Denki actually says what he said in canon. And now Jiro pretty much said thank you and will start try to sing. And Mina actually shrugged her shoulder and said, "So, you and Kirishima, you and Denki." She kind of blushes about this and said, "No, no, it's not like that." And she remembers that Deku told her about a certain phrase, a certain line that someone will say to you. And she kind of blushed even more, almost a beet red. And she learned that Dinky is her soulmate. Mina is kind of like enjoying this little act that's going on. And Deku said, I guess you figure it out. And he said this quietly where Mina and Jiro hear this. And hear it and no one else. And Mina said, figure out what? And Deku said, do you see her face? And she said, yeah, it's red. I think she's sick. And Deku said, no. And Jiro, did you find him? With a kind of evil grin. And said, and she didn't say anything, she just nodded her head and understood. And pretty much said, okay, I understand. he's here with a more high-pitched voice because she's very embarrassed. Now Mina finally understanding that Jero and Dinky are soulmates, and she's pretty much damn chickens. Sorry about that. Fucking. I'm not annoyed to them, but you guys might get to it. Might get annoyed. Well, fuck you too. Sorry about that. Sorry. Um. Sorry about that. I couldn't stop laughing. But what was I? They were doing this. So Juro pretty much assigned everybody to, which task they're doing. The dance squad, the effects squad, and the uh, band. And Juro said she'll work on some music. And Deku said, "Oh, hey Dinky, I think you're really good with music, right?" And he said, a bit. I know some songs that will work with it." Jiro understanding what Deku's doing, and she was going to say something, but Deku said, "Huh? How about you go help Jiro with the song? Like I guess you guys would be perfect, right?" And Dinky, not knowing anything and not knowing what exactly is going on, said, "Yeah." And he walked up to Jiro and said, "Come on, let's work on the song. I guessing in your room?" And she said, yeah." And they're walking to her room. She looks at Deku and he gives two smiles, kind of like what Denki does when he gets stupid, and said, "Go for it." And she kind of blushed and hurrying up, and Denki is acting, hey, hurry up. Tsuyu comes by asking what's going on, and Deku pretty much tell her. She kind of understands and see that he set them up to technically a date of sorts. But anyway, Deku will be in the special effects area. I do get annoyed to that thing though. But anyway, everybody's actually practicing. Zuko is doing some dance moves way better than in canon. Since he has to work with his threads, he has to get used to like being very flexible and snappy at the same time, in the air as well. So he's pretty good with it. They're having some problems with some parts, but Zuko chimes in and tells them, "How about we do this instead of this?" Like in originally, they're going to use ropes, but Zuko said, "How about you just hold on to my strings? I'll give you, I'll let you practice with my strings to get used to it." Yama, the guy with the laser Billy, said okay and try it. And Zook said, "They're very thin, so I'll ask you to wear your gloves as you're doing this." And they said, "How about you just make him wear his whole costume, his hero costume?" And they said, "Perfect." At this around 2 weeks and a half in, Eric came by with Muriel. They did this all introduction, and Anela came up and said, "Oh, hi, ma'am, sir," being very nice. And Zuko kind of looks at him and said, "Yeah, that works." And Manila says, "Well, excuse me, I need to work on some more stuff. Have a nice day." At this point, of knowing who his soulmate is in the future, he's mellowed down and being really nice to everybody else. Since he doesn't need to worry about anything, knowing how hot his future wife is gonna be, he can rub it in later. Trust me, most guys will be like very happy to do that, but not too embarrassing anyway. Sorry. Where was I? So they're taking Eri around and showing her the classes. All the other ones can. Is she? Yeah. She's in class 1B. Didn't change anything. And Kendall come by asking anything else. Pretty much chopping Monoma, the copy bitch, on his head and making him and dragging him around. It was kind of funny, so she kind of laughed. Just kind of chuckled, but she stopped immediately when someone asked, "Can you guys help me with this?" That could pretty much pick up one of the Class B's dragon heads and move them to another location. So they're out over at the cafeteria, and they understand that Nezu did a lot for Eri to come in with more heroes and more protection. So she's saying bye and almost forgot to ask. Oh, Deku. Oh, Midoriya. No, no. Uzuku, right? And he said yes. You can use any of the names, I don't mind. And she asked, "What's are you going to be doing in the festival?" And Zuko said, "Oh, I'm in the support. I'm going to support show some special effects. If you see one of the red lines, I'm doing that." And she said, "Red lines?" And I said, "Yeah. See?" And he kind of hold out his hand, and she grabs it and looks around. And she's very surprised at looking at all this and seeing that it's some red threads. Not sure if I did this in the last part, but I'm putting it in here. Zuko explains some of his quirk and show her that she can see and he can see some people's future or how their day is doing. And she said, "Oh, that's so cool." All kid like. And Deku said, "Well, that's just my quirk, but your quirk is really cool too. One day you'll understand how great yours is as well. Bye." And they leave. So everything went out to the same. Zuko learning the dance perfectly and teaching everybody else. Suyu getting very used to this. And then there was a little scene on the day where their last day practicing. They're actually in the gym where they're gonna do the whole thing. And a certain instant happens where Kirishima was taking a box of supplies that they didn't need and moving to another area. Won't be in the way. But something fell off and it just rolled off, and somehow Suyu stepped on it. And she tripped, almost falling into a bunch of other material that was going to be the background effect. As you could see this, pull out and turn on his quirk to make a thread web and caught her. And he picked her up and up to her feet and saying, "Are you okay?" She's looking into his eyes, he's looking at hers, and she said with a very quiet, squeaky voice, saying, "Yes, Ribbit." And then they hear clapping. "Okay, you two, that's enough. Let's get back into practice." And there's Mina saying this. She enjoys a romance, but she doesn't want to see it while they're being serious. So the day of on the day where everything's starting, the festival is starting, everybody's is enjoying it, and everybody's getting ready, and they're asking where Jiro is. And some of them are thinking, and where's Dinky? And they don't see them, and they knock at Dinky's door, open the door, and see nothing. Then they were going to Jiro's dorm and ask and see if she's there. As they were getting close and about to open the door, she already opened the door. Said, "Oh, hi guys. What are you doing?" And they see that she's fully dressed and ready to go, and ask where Dinky is. And she said, "Oh, he's here. He was helping out with some more smaller details in the song." And said, "Oh." And Deku came in and said, "Oh, so you guys have gone that far, have you?" She kind of blushes, and then she said, "Dude, what do you mean? We're just helping her with her music." And Zuko said, "Ah, sure you were, sure." So Dinky still doesn't understand, and probably never will. And she kind of like blushes and walk away with the rest of the girls and talking about everything else. Deku pretty much pulled him in and bonked him on the head and said, "Hey, what I'm doing is hooking you guys up to each other. So next time, don't be adults and actually do it." And Dinky was about to say something, but said, "Oh, that's why she was so nervous." And Deku said, "Yes, that's why. Now next time, go a little further. I think she'll like it." And Dinky said, "Oh, kiss?" And Zuko said, "No, no, give her a hug. It'll be way better." After the concert, and say whatever you can think of at that moment. And Dinky said, "Okay." So up to the concert is about on 1 hour or later, and they needed some supplies. But Zuko said, "No, it's right there in the back. I'll go get it." And he sees nothing and said, "Oh, shit. Hey guys, do we really need the parts?" And Kirishima said, "Yes, we need it." And Deku said, "Okay, I'll go get it. Where is the nearest store?" And they say, and give him directions and said, "Oh, okay." So he goes to the store, gets some of it. It was pretty much just glue. Momo was about to make it, but she needed her energy to actually do in the concert. As he was leaving, he kind of like turned around and said, "Hey, are we gonna do this, or are you gonna wait until the very end?" And gentlemen, and I forgot, Sir Gentle, I forgot his name. I'll just call him Gentleman, the mustache man. I think that'll be better for me because I can't say the other word. Sorry about that, guys, girls, whoever's listening out there. So, gentlemen, fuck, the mustache man pretty much started running away from one direction, and said, and Zuku said, "No, you don't," and throughout his threads, he put his supplies in his backpack and put it on the back, and pull out his gloves and start jumping with him. The Muster Mash pretty much blocked him with his trampoline. And as soon as gentleman him see Zuko about to hit it, he turns around. But Zuko dodged it, going down to one thread, kind of like a zigzag, and actually going towards him. They're getting real close to where the UA fort is, but not there. And he was still holding Brava. I think that's her name. Brava. Fuck. The girl. I need to faster. So they're having that fight scene of Zuko uh, actually hitting on one of his trampolines, but he noticed how flimsy it is, and it felt just like his strings. So the next time he actually hit one on purpose as he tried to hit the mustache man, and instead of flying away, he actually grabbed on one of his strings, make it look like he's flying, but when he turned around, still holding and make himself pull into a slingshot, this time way faster where he can't, where the mustache man doesn't see it and get hit by Deku, and they're both hit next into a tree, and that's it. It knocked him out, and Brava was trying to do something, but nothing happened because Deku stopped her dead in her tracks and knocked her out as well. Equal fight, equal rights, equal fights. And some of the heroes came by and see that it's the mustache man and the girl. Mustache man said that she's been under my control and I forced her to do this. And Zuko said, no, it's all wrong. She's been here volunteering her help with him. Take her with him. And they said, are you sure about this? It seems far-fetched. And Zuko said, next time I'll show you, like I did with all for One. And they said, okay. The Zuko, when he was holding on to Brava, and pretty much said to her in a whisper tone, said, stay with him. You're his only hope. And she kind of like flinches and look at him. And Deku said, you're his only hope to make him a true hero. Something will happen where you two will have have a choice. Do not take it. Okay? And he push her away, and they take them away. Zuko went back to his area where he put away his backpack and went back over. Now, the concert, everything went perfectly well. It was just the same, a little better, saying using Zuko's threads. Ayama pretty much did a Superman pose, like one fist up, but he was holding onto a thread that Zuko flagged for him. And Zuko said, now. And Ayama just got ready, flex on his arm to make sure he won't break it, and he starts flying off. And then he saw another thread he didn't cut for, but he grabbed it and started spinning, like doing backflips, and start showing out his beams all around. More like a straight line, but still a way better. A lot faster, and he got a little dizzy, but he felt a thread, and he's like flying down to a certain area. And Todoroki did his ice bridge, Uraraka going around, jumping on the threads. Like for Deku did this for them to jump around, not using ropes. Suyu is still holding her, making it look like she's holding her, and making everybody float. At this point, Eri opened her eyes and smiled extremely big, and is enjoying the festival. This has happened 3 times. Not in the canon for just one, but actually 3 different concerts, all the same, just one after another, making it better. But after the concert calmed down, everybody's getting, and the festival is about to be over, Zuko actually took, after theirs were all done, everybody pretty much went on their dates. Bakugo took Uraraka out and look around at the festival. Kirishima took Mina and talked about all the little details in the concert and how they could have done better, maybe for next year. Ida went out and checked on Ibarra, okay, play, and afterwards compliment her and talk about how great she played, and how she did her play perfectly, and with her parents. And no, we didn't do it that way. Mm, and when Jiro was actually getting off the stage and everybody was going off with their partners, I think he actually stood and wait at the exit and said, "Hey, you did great out there. Didn't know that song was going to be this perfect." And she said, "No, no, it wasn't that good. I messed up on some notes and think he can't." And she was like walking away. He pulled on her hand, gave her a hug, and said, "No, you did perfectly." She kind of blushes, but she actually wrapped her hands around him, and Denki felt this and hugged him a little tighter, hugged her a little tighter. Deku saw this and slowly walked out the very door they were holding. Deku went and out with Suyu, um, and was walking towards Todoroki and asked Todoroki if he wants to go and look through the festival. He said, "Yeah, I'll just go along with you." Deku said, "How about, have you seen Momo?" And he said, "Yeah, she's over there." Said, and Deku said, "How about you invite her for you both can just enjoy the festival?" Um, Todoroki said, "Sure." And Deku pretty much pulled him aside and said, "Hey, just be normal. You don't need to force anything. Just be you. She'll be you, and she'll be her. And just enjoy the festival. You see what's truly beautiful around here." And he just like turned around and said, "Well, see ya." And he grabs on Suryu's hand and said, "Hey, let's go." They left. And both Momo was pretty much last one done cleaning and pretty much making sure everything was clean, spotless to the T. And she felt a cold hand on her, and she turned around and said, "Oh, it's you." Todoroki said, "Yeah, you want to just go out and enjoy the festival together?" She kind of blushes at this and said, yeah, I'm done with all cleaning." And Todoroki said, "Yeah, let's go." So they're walking side by side. Those will be a more slower of a couple than all the others. So two couples have formed in that point. When it was close, Zuko and Suyu was actually